Another episode of Groovi Tuesday. My name's Paul Church from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. How is everybody today? I know it takes a while for you to pull up a chair and join the party. I can see we have one person, all of a sudden 16 people viewing. So I'm sure I'll get some comments in a moment even. Nice chilled Groovy Tuesday day today. Looking forward to this. I've had a few ideas on what we can do just to give various different options. So there we go. Mo, first to the party. Good morning, Mo. Lovely and sunny in North Yorkshire today. Glad to hear it. Yeah, it's lovely and sunny in Kent, or in this part of Kent anyway, but it's quite fresh. Good morning, Glynis. Good morning, Jill. Here we all come. Nahid, Sharon. There we go. It is, yes, Nahid, it's the same. Lovely and sunny, but freezing cold. It's the same here in Kent as well. A few of my colleagues, they had ice on the car this morning when they came in. So, yeah, but at least the sun's shining. Yesterday was torrential rain. It just kept coming and falling down. So there was lots of puddles driving in on the way this morning. So I hope everyone's keeping well. So, my mic is making extra scratchy sounds. Okay, just adjust that. Just in case it's catching on the cardie. Is that any better? Let me know. The sound is good. Stuart, can you let me know if I'm sounding a bit scratchy? Try and keep the cardigan straight. Maybe I'll turn it a little bit that way, just in case. I just saw we had a newbie in the room. Who was that? Let me see if I can scroll back and see who that was. Everyone's coming in thick and fast this morning. Let's have a look. Who is the newbie? Carol Watts. Welcome, Carol. I see you're tuning in on our YouTube page. Welcome. Most of the chat goes on over on the Clarity Facebook page. So if you want to join in the chat and see what else is going on, then maybe pop over to there as well. You don't need to join up to anything. It's just broadcast on our Clarity Stamp page. Who else we've got? Mrs. P's in the room. Annie, good morning. Glynis, again, Sue, Jane, Josie. Oh, lots of people today. Alison, still scratchy, very crackly. Okay, let me switch it off. I'm going to go quiet. I'm going to switch it off, and I was going to say I'll do sound. That's better. Sound is clear, Paul. Okay, let me see what Stuart is saying. If Stuart is saying anything. Sound stable so far. Keep an eye on fuzziness and volume. Thank you, Stuart. Okay. So I won't interfere then. I'll keep it if that's better. And I'll just keep it away from the cardigan. So sound is fine. Sound is good. Super duper. Okay. Maybe it was just a body. Maybe I was just leaning forward a little bit. So, yes, how are we all doing? Okay, I'm glad. Welcome to any newbies. Good morning, Shari. I can see Shari's joining us today. Guy from France. Bonjour. My French and all foreign languages are 0. So I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce what you've written. So it's just when I move, catching on your carding. Okay, I'll try not to move. I'll put the mouse carefully. It's not sort of touching. Okay, maybe. I'll tell you what, I'm going to switch the mic off and I'll switch it back on again. So I'm going to go quiet and you'll see me while I do this. I'm just going to switch it off. and I should be okay, hopefully the sound is back. Quite bad. Check everything connected nice and tight. Okay, I'll just check all the connections. Let's try, I'll put it that way, see if that makes any difference. Still very scratchy. Okay. Apologies. Isn't it great when we have technical issues? I love a bit of technical issues. Let me just stand up. Is that any better? Seems to be when I move. So that's all connected nice and tight. Let's have a look at the receiver box. That's all nice and tight. That's all plugged in correctly. No, here's no stripping in here, taking my cardi off indeed. Okay, how about that? Is that any better? Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How are we doing with that? Is that any better? I'm sitting still. I've got a crackly wire. Oh, yeah, there's a few crackly wires in there, Jill, I can tell you. If you sit still, it's okay. Okay. Very strange. Better. Okay. Better. Don't move. Okay. It can be quite difficult not to move. Move a bit. If I move a bit, if I go like this, does it go all scratchy? If people are tuning in now thinking, what is going on? Okay, I'm moving a bit now. So if I go left and right, up and down, pause it. Dawn, don't panic. I haven't finally cracked. I'm not going mad. Okay, so that seems to be okay. So maybe just checking all the connections, switching it off, moving. Okay. When you move, it's bad. Okay. Right. I'll tell you what, let me show you the plate that we're working with. We're working with a couple of plates. I'm going to go to the overhead. Chair yoga. I know, that's funny, isn't it? If we have a look on the, can I come and sit on your car by us? Oh dear. You are all controlling me remotely. Didn't you know that? We're going to have a look on the overhead. I'm going to take my cardi off, as Naheed suggested, and we'll see whether that makes any difference. So just while I take my cardi off, let's have a look at that. So what I'm going to do, it may go crackly while I just unclip everything. Okay, but all the connections do seem okay. Right. Let's take the cardi off, and then I'll clip it to my top. Just I've got a top on underneath, isn't it? Yes. Okay. So let's try. I'm going to clip it here. I don't know whether that's going to be any better. Let's go this way. Is it? It's quite awkward putting it on this way. Okay, that's all plugged in. I did replace the batteries before we started. Okay. I can keep my hat on. Thanks, Glynis. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, can't get my chair right now. Okay, so if I move around now, is it, I'm going crazy now, stir crazy. Is that any better? Is it still crackly? I'm just, come on, face phone. I need to read the text messages from Stuart. Keep going. I think it is the wire moving fine. Just be aware of the wire. Sounds good at the moment. Okay. Is that better? Much better, much better. Okay, maybe it was a static coming from the Cardi. Okay, should we recap? Oh dear, happy Tuesday morning. See, the sun just makes you laugh. Crackling stop for now. Okay, all good. I'll keep looking up as we're working today and just crackling and see what happens. Maybe it could be the static from the cardigan. Don't know. We have lots of fun here, Karen, don't we? That's what it's all about, crafting and lots of fun. So, right, okay, I feel as if I'm in my pajamas now. So these are the plates that we've been looking at. This is the Jane Nesterenko Rose and Lattice plate. So we have the A5 plate, and this was a craft along that Barbara and Linda did back in September 2021. And so if you want to sort of have a look at that, how that played out, you can go to our YouTube page and have a look for the craft along, or you can go to our website, which is claritycrafts.com. And if you go to the moment of clarity, you'll be able to scroll back and see all the various different craft alongs, and you'll be able to find those ones that Linda and Barbara did together. And this was the piece that they worked on during that craft along. And when you combine it with on the beautiful rainbow parchment, it really does bring it to life. And what you'll see is that they sort of changed the layout slightly. So you can see you have this lovely aperture within the middle, but we put the rose at the bottom and we put the sentiment in the middle. And there's this exquisite colouring and white work. I mean, let me bring the leaf up to show you. I mean, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Whoops. Focus. There we go. Look at that. And that's on the front. And if we look on the back, you can, whee, there we go. You can see the detail and how that's been created. Okay. So that just gives you an idea of what you can do. And what we've been doing is we've been taking the design exactly how it comes. And we was doing our white work on those little dots within the trellis last week. And I said that we'd leave it until this week to put another layer of white work on. Okay. So what we're going to need our piece of artwork. Okay. Stuart, maybe you could find the link on the Clarity Matters, not Clarity Matters, on the Moment of Clarity section of the website, and pop a link up to the craft along YouTube. That'd be really great for those viewers that are new to Groovi Tuesday and Clarity. They may want to go back and watch and see how that was created. So what we're going to need is, we don't need the plates because we've finished with the plates for the moment. We're going to need our A4 black mat. We're going to need our Groovi guard. We're going to need our piece of artwork. And then we're just very simply going to stick with the number 3 and 4 and the 1 and 2 Groovi tools that come within the starter kit. Okay, so what we're looking at is, if you've only got the starter kit and you've bought this selection of plates, then you can still craft along or groove along at the same time. Okay, so that's what we're going to need. And then I thought I would show you some various different options on what we can put in the middle. Now, we can take the design exactly how it comes and we can pop that in the middle. However, we may want to vary that and have a look at some of Jane's other designs. So this is the lovely agapanthus. We have the dahlias. we have the fuchsias, and we also have a different rose from Jane. So we can use any of those to put in the middle. Okay. However, maybe you've got a royal garden party coming up. You may want to use some of our royal gnomes to put in the middle. I just think they'd be great within there. Maybe doing party invites for that. Maybe over the street party. We have them also available in stamps as well. But the king and queen and the guardsman, I mean, that guardsman for a little boy's card or a young girl's card for that matter would be great. And you've got this lovely frame, you've got let's party, you've got party, celebrate, all different occasions. Okay, so we're going to have a look at some different options and how we can put our design in the middle. All right. But first, what we want to do is finish off doing our white work. So we're going to work on the back. And do you remember what I did last week? Is I put a Groovi tab on to show where I'm starting. So when I go around when I go clockwise, I know where I need to finish. Okay. Groovi Guard, I was using this last week to concentrate on the areas and then move along. And I'm still going to stick with the number 3 tool. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit now. So I'm going to stand up. So I'm hoping it won't start crackling again. And let me just zoom in. I'm not seeing any comments. I'm hoping everybody's still with us. And I haven't sent you to sleep. Okay. Right. Hopefully that's okay. Is there anybody there? I can see we have viewers, but I can't see. Maybe you're just... there we go, Clive. Clive watched the Linda, Barbara and Grace one using those plates. It was hilarious. Of course, Grace was home, wasn't she? Yes, I remember now. And Grace and Barb did it in the studio above the garage, and Linda did it from Wet Wales. I'm sure it's probably raining then. Okay, I'm glad the crackling has stopped, and I'm glad you're all still there as well. Okay, so we're going to concentrate on the area here, and I'm going to put my glasses on. Eyesight's definitely going. I need just to clean my glasses because they seem to be filthy. Okay. So, super duper. Much better. Okay. So do you remember last week we were talking about when we were doing circles, we need to go up and down, left and right, and round and round. So it's the same process. So now I'm going to go up and down, left and right, round and round. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a small area just to show you the difference of the whiteness. Okay, so I'm going to go from left to right in these areas, like so. Now what I mustn't forget is these tiny little bits down the side as well. Okay, now you do, it's quite, I can feel the sort of the pressure that I'm applying on the black mat, and I need to be careful that I don't go on too heavy to go through, because the more we stretch, the weaker the parchment becomes. Okay, so gently does it, nice and easy. We're just going to work in small sections at a time. That must be strange, wasn't it? It must have been the static on the cardigan. Very strange. don't think we've had that before. There you go. I'll know not to wear that cardigan again for Groovi Tuesday or TV. Okay, so these tiny little areas here. This ball tool, the number 3 that we're using, is a little bit big for, so I'm going to now go to my number 2 tool and just gently do those little areas there. Okay. There's another one just there. Okay. I'm just going to gently blend it into that line. It's amazing that tiny little area there, the difference it can make to the design. Okay, so let's turn this over now and see whether there is any difference in the whiteness. So if I section off this area here, so at this point here, this is where I've just put another layer on, and down here is definitely not as white. Okay, I can see, I don't know if we can see it on the camera, but there's definitely a difference between, it's literally these points here, from there and above to down. There's definitely some grey areas here. Okay, so now we're going to turn our work back over. So we concentrate on that area. So now I'm going to move down to the next section. So let's do these little bits here first. Okay, so I'm still using the number 2 tool just to put those little semicircles in. And that doesn't take a lot to turn that tiny little area white. Now I'm going to go back to my number 3 tool and then continue with our pattern. Okay. So what we've got lots going on again this week at Clarity. Who was in the shack yesterday? Those vases you've been creating are absolutely stunning. The principle of the different layers, from sort of the outlines, then the infills, together, not together, to give it sort of a different look. And it gives it more of a natural look, doesn't it? By not having that solid outline giving you the shape. So it was the colour that defined the shape of the vase. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the number 2 tool. I'm going to do these little bits so I don't forget. So if I get into a habit of just, when I move the Groovi guard, just do those little bits there, and then go in and complete the rest of the design. So number 3 tool again, and we're just putting an extra layer of whiteness into our dots. So yeah, so we had, so let's sort of rewind. What did we have last week, since we last met? Let's have a look at my little list. What did we have? That's right, so we had Groovi Tuesday, and then the lovely Tina Cox was on Create and Craft on Saturday just gone, with those lovely Art Nouveau style designs, and those framework squares and circles, really popular. Who would have thought sort of a plate with loads of different circles and squares on them would be so useful? Really love watching Tina work her magic and giving designs a different look. I missed a little line there. Doesn't matter, I can go back in and add that in. So that was Saturday. Let's move down to the next section. Make sure we're still in focus. There we go. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the plate back into place. I'm going to put that line in so that I don't forget it. So take the plate, put it back into place, slots back in, just like so. Number 1 tool, and there we go. That's it. All done. So that was on Saturday. Then yesterday in the shack with Barb. With me today in Groovi Tuesday. Then Barb is on TV on Thursday at 5 o'clock. It's the Shack show on Create and Craft using the lovely mandala designs that many of you doodled in the shack. And I was looking back to see when that happened, and that was, I think it started in September 2020 or 2021. I can't remember. It's all, I've got it all written down. And I think it took 8 weeks to complete them. And so that's on Thursday at 5 o'clock, and then on Friday 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. some brand new stamps. Barbara showcasing some brand new stamps, and if you like the Wii range of stamps, then you're going to love this new collection. We've got them in Wii and in miniatures, and an amazing set of stencils. Right, let's move along over here. So that's Friday at 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And then obviously we have Bank Holiday Monday, so there's no shack for a couple of weeks. But I'll be back with you on Tuesday, continuing our little project. So we've got lots to keep you occupied over the coming days here at Clarity. Obviously, you've got the Barbara's blog every day. You have the Clarity Matters blog on Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday is where Grace showcases lots of artwork from our friends over on Facebook. And then on Sunday, we have a groovy step-by-step project. So there's lots to keep you out of trouble, regardless of what the weather's like. Okay, let's go back to number 2 tool, just like so. See, it doesn't take long to do. I mean, we've nearly done 2 sides of the design already. Okay, I'm going to go back to my number 3. I'm going to start at the top and then work my way down. And of course, we have our fantastic open days coming up. What day are we today? 25th of April. So yeah, May. Yeah, it's coming around thick and fast now. So they are Friday the 9th of June and Saturday the 10th of June. Stuart could pop a little link up for you if you're interested, or you can always give Janine a call in the office. So it's £8 for each day, and they're 2 fun-filled, smashing days. Lots of demonstrations, raffles on the hour every hour, lots of free parking, making takes, snip clinic, so much. It's definitely the highlight of my year when it comes to crafting. And this year it's 30 years of clarity. 30 years. That's crazy. I mean, obviously I haven't been with Barb for 30 years. I've known Barb for many, many years. Yeah, how the company's changed since I've been here. And for me, Groovi, well, you could probably tell from the sound of my voice. I mean, I'm trying not to go too loud as well, so it don't go all crackly. Will there be cake? Are you going to make one, Jane? Are you going to make a cake? I'm sure you've got plenty of time. You haven't got any crafting or secret work to do. Excuse me. Karen McCoy is coming on Saturday the 10th for the first time. Oh, Karen, you're going to love it. You really, really will. How far are you traveling from, Karen? Whereabouts in the world? Maybe, well, you could be coming from abroad. We've had people coming from abroad before. We've got the lovely Pat Hoskins. She's coming all the way from Cornwall. We've got brain fog, complete brain fog. It'll come to me in a minute. It's because I'm in the groove. Okay, so number 2. Let me just think. Hang on. I can't. No, it's gone. I don't even know what I was going to say now. Shore by Sea. Well, that's not too bad then, is it? That's down on the south coast, down Brighton way, or just past Brighton, I think. I'm rubbish with geography. Absolute rubbish. I think, Karen, there's a lady that comes to our parchment retreat at the Spa Hotel. I'm sure she comes from Shore by Sea to our parchment retreat at the Spa Hotel. Could be talking rubbish. I could be making it all up, but for some reason it does ring a bell. Okay. Right, so I've just got to do a little bit of white work just on this one here. Okay, and I reckon I turn that over. That is, if I zoom out a little now, I'm going to stand up again. Here come the crackling. And the crackling will be in my back crackling. Hang on, stretch and go that way. And then, there we go. See, for me, this is the beauty of parchment craft. You do not have to do anything else whatsoever to this piece of parchment. I mean, obviously, this chair. Oh, sorry. Drag the chair in. Obviously, it needs some form of design within it. But what I'm saying is you don't have to add any color if you don't want to. You don't have to do any picot cutting. It's the pure beauty and magic of the parchment that gives it the elegance of the craft. And that's what I've always loved. When you look at the whiteness that you get from a piece of, when you think about it, we call it clear parchment. Obviously it's not clear, but it's not white, it's not black, it's sort of like a grey colour, isn't it? And to get that brightness of that white line with so much ease because of Groovi plates. So I thought we'll have a look at this, and there's various different options of the road that we can go down now. There we was talking about, we can take the design. Oh, rubbish men have turned up, just reversing. You can probably hear that. It's not my chair reversing, it's a dust cart outside. So I can take this lovely design from Jane and use that as my centerpiece if I want to. But maybe we want to try something a little bit different. So what I was looking at was obviously the aperture within the middle. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could perforate with a 2-needle tool on the inside, and you can picot cut to create an aperture. Or you can put a design on top. So Tina is often working with layers, okay? And so what I was looking at the circle. So I thought, well, okay, we've got our picot dies and we've got our nested circle dies. So if I took the picot dies, okay, so I took I think it was the 5th one. It's a little bit big, okay. If I took the next one down, it was a little bit small. It still works because it creates a frame within a frame. And I thought, well, okay, well, let's go with just the basic nested circles. And that fits perfectly. Okay. So what we could do if we wanted to is that we could take some coloured parchment and we could do our flower on that. Okay. But I thought, just keep it nice and simple. I just wanted to show you a few different options. Okay. So for example, if I'm going to turn my mat over now, and I'm on the hard side, and I'm going to wipe my circle with, what side? That side. I'm going to wipe with my tumble dry sheet, like so. Okay. So a question from Jane, Lindsay, what plate am I using? So I'm using the, let me zoom out a little bit now. This is the Jane Nesterenko Rose and Lattice. It's an A5 plate. Okay, so this is what we've been using for this project. But if you just like the lattice, then we also do the A5 square lattice. So if you wanted to, you could put your square first and then infill around the outside. You could do a rectangle, you could do an oval. It's a lovely plate to give you an infill. And I just saw a message fly by. Let me just see if I can find that message. Hang on a moment. Let me scroll back up. So Clive, me and my wife Sue are coming. We've only been doing Groovi for a few months, so this will be our first one. We are making it a 4-day mini break. Really looking forward to it. That's brilliant. We look forward to seeing Clive and Sue. Are you coming for both days, Clive, or are you just one day? That would be great. See, it's lovely. When many of the our friends that tune in to the Shack and Groovi Tuesday, many we've met over the years at various different events, whether it be the open days, the summer retreats, the parchment retreats. And I'm rubbish with names, but faces I recognise. Okay. But what's nice is that when we actually get together and you see these names appearing on the list of people sort of asking questions and making comments, and they're tiny little dots, and you think, oh, who's that I'm sort of talking to? I can't I can see the name, but I can't see it. So it's great, especially when we have our open days, and you can actually put a name, a face. You can put a face to a name, and it means so much more. And I think the interaction from everybody, and never ever be afraid to ask a question, whether it be online or if you're coming to the open days or any of our events, because I guarantee that the person next to you may want to know, but is a little bit shy. Carol, Mrs. P, Mrs. Pankey. Yes, everyone will have a name badge. I mean, it's up to you whether you wear one. When you come in, there'll be a sticker for you to write your name on. First name, last name, nickname, whatever you want to be called. And you just wear that. You just wear that wherever you want. Because you know what's great about this? At the open days and the retreats, some people come for the first time and they get talking to people, and then they find out that they live half hour away, or they know someone that knows someone else, and all of a sudden the community and the family really does come together. And many of the people coming along have been friends as a result of coming to either the retreats or the open days. Travel together, they craft together, they meet up every once in a while. So it really is about the community and the family. I've said this many a time. The open days for me is like a big family gathering, because there's some people I've known for years and years and years, and there's some people I would have met for the first time, but you're still like family. That's what it's about. It's all about, if you're coming on your own, don't be scared, don't be frightened, because by the end of that day, you'll be friends with hundreds of people in the room. And it is really strange. We've had people come that they lived literally 2 streets away from one another and they didn't even know. So it's an amazing what a small world it is, but the community and the family aspect of it, of crafting, really does make a difference. So it's be really nice to see lots of old friends, not in age, but friends that we've known for many years, but also new friends as well. And again, questions coming up on here, it's nice to be able to answer them, and it'll be nice to actually meet in person as well. And yeah, well, it's crackling again. Okay, sorry. Okay, let me just move that cable. I wonder whether. Okay, I'm going to stop moving that. Okay, so let's have a slurp of coffee. Maybe it's when I get excited the crackling starts. So maybe I'm not allowed to get excited and then it won't crackle. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at, let's go back to this now. Let's calm it, Kermit, as Bob would say. Right. So these are the plates we've been looking at. This is my piece of work that I've been working on, but I'm undecided as to what design I want to pop in the middle. So I can take a plate and I can lay it on top to see whether this would work or that would work. But I just wanted to show a couple of options for you. So if I now go to my plate mate, which comes in the starter kit, so I'll just grab that out of my folder, like so. So this is the plate mate that comes in the starter kit, A5 square. And let's take, for example, let's take Jane's Dahlias. Okay, beautiful design. You've got the lovely bouquet of dahlias there. You've got various different, you've got the ladybug. Is it ladybug now? Can you still call it a ladybug? Man bug? I don't know. And rather than take our piece of work, and so I know that's going to fit lovely within the design, but I want to do it on a separate piece. Okay, But before I do that, what I want to do is, the mic's rebelling, it's missing my colourful shirts. Before I actually put my design in, I want to add in an outline. So to do that, I'm going to go back to this plate. I know I digress. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. And it's a little snug fit, but it will, glasses are definitely required for this. Okay, I'm going to grab a couple of Groovi tabs. Okay, let me just bring my head in over the top slightly. This is a really snug fit. I reckon it'll work. Just take the time to line it up. Groovi tab in place, like so. Definitely going to need my Groovi guard. And what I'm going to do first is take my number 1 tool. Let's see if this will work. And I'm just going to gently press into the circle. Okay, now the Groovi guard definitely helps in this respect. Okay, so now I'm going to come round and do this side, like so. And you'll see that I'm turning the plate. So now that that's done, let's relocate the Groovi tab and put that part in. And then relocate this one, like so. Okay, and then pop that like so. So now we can take that off. And let's see what that's given us. So that's given us a white line all the way around the outside. Okay. So now we can go back to, I mean, you don't have to put a white line round if you don't want to. So now what we're going to do is going to have a look at the dahlia and use it as sort of like a spot magnifying glass type thing. And you can decide what you want to pick up and what you don't. So I reckon about there. Okay. And I say I love the dahlias. All of Jane's designs are beautiful, but for me, I find that the dahlia is a lovely one to colour in. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to stand up and just zoom in so we can come in really close to this design. Now, I will use the rose that comes with the plate, but I just wanted to show an alternative, okay? Because I'm sure many of you out there will have a few plates at home in your collection, and you may be unsure on whether it would work with the design. So as I said, you can take the plate and lay it over to see whether it will work, or you can just cut out some circles like I've done and have a play around. So you can try different elements, and if you don't like it, you could always use this on another piece of artwork. It doesn't have to go on this particular project, but maybe it will. So you could create a series of toppers, have them all done, have the frames all done as well, and then just when you need a birthday card or an anniversary card, maybe a rose has a special meaning to somebody that you're sending the card to, or maybe they like alliums, or not alliums, agapanthus, or maybe something else that you have in your collection. So if you have these series of toppers, then you can adapt your design rather than thinking, oh, I've got to do this now. And so it's all about having the mixability of the design. Okay. And you can see how easy it is. And I'm just making sure I stay, well, I've got to stay within the circle, but I'm staying within the line that I've created. So look, I mean, it really doesn't take long, does it? And as Jane just said, it's funny how certain flowers may make you think of certain people. Yeah. Or a particular occasion. For me, freesias for my mum and my nan. Whenever I see freesias, I think of them. Just brings back memories, doesn't it? Let's just make sure that, oh, that's moved a little bit. Okay, let's just adapt slightly and then we'll just lock that back into place. So that goes, look, let's take that, hold that back in, it hasn't affected it. No, there we go. So if you have a series of toppers already done, I mean, Linda Williams has a lovely selection of flowers in Groovi. We've got, there's violets, there's primrose, aquilegia. There's a rose from Linda as well. I'm just going through the flowers and lace collection. We've got fuchsias. Probably got quite a few of the different types of flowers covered in Groovi. I've missed the bottom bit on the bottom left. I have indeed, thank you. Well spotted. There is a freesia plate, Pat, yes. Stuart, could you pop a link up to that, please? Yeah, it's got a lovely spray of freesias, and I'm not sure whether it's got a basket or I think it has a little verse on it as well. Yeah, it's a lovely plate. I think we also have it in stamp as well. I'm sure Stuart can find that for you and pop that link up. How we do? Is it 10 to already? Core blimey, governor. Where's the time gone? Oh, I don't know. But you know what? It's been, apart from the crackling mic, isn't that a song? Oh no, it's Crackling Rose, isn't it? It's quite apt. There we go. Stuart's popped the link up. Thank you, Stuart. Spring Bouquet. Is it that one, or is it called Spring Bouquet? I thought we had a different one. Let's have a look. Clarity website, and let's search for freesia. Yeah, there is another one, Stuart, which has the freesia on, which it's called Freesias and Mother Verse. The item code is 40902. It's really lovely. Let me bring it in on the overhead. You can sort of see. Hopefully you can see. There we go. If I bring it in on my phone. There we go. Jane's got it. Lovely. Really nice. There we go. Jane's got it, Stuart's got it, everyone's on it. Oh, so yeah, I reckon we've probably got most flowers covered in Stamp and Groovi. But maybe there's a particular flower that means something to you. You can always contact us and ask us. May already have something in the pipeline. Barb's always drawing, and we've got the lovely, young, fantastic Jazz. She's always working on designs. But we often, our friends often suggest different designs, and we feel that it fits what we're doing at the moment, then we listen. We definitely listen, and we act as well by popular demand. That verse, I forgot what that verse says. Let's have a look. It says, "Mother has ears that listen, arms that always hold, love that's never ending, and a heart that's made of gold." Ooh. Oh dear, I'd forgotten that. Okay. Dum dum dum. Oh, I missed a bit in there. No one told me. Okay, that was a good distraction. Thanks, Jane. Do we have something with bluebells? Yes, we do. We have. There's a Linda Williams design that has bluebells on. You watch, Jane will be on it. Bluebells. I'm sure it's bluebells. Oh, what plate is it? I think it is. Is it the Bumblebee? One of Linda's. No, it won't be the Bumblebee, I don't think. Oh, what's it called? There's Bumblebee, Dragonfly, and bees, butterflies, and dragonflies. I think there's a. Yeah, there we go. Let me show you that. There we go. It is the Bumblebee one. I was right. So it's a set of. I mean, obviously they're all available individually, and there's a lovely little II book that goes with it. So there's the dragonflies. Yeah, I knew we had bluebells. Lovely. We've got snowdrops, bluebells and bees. That's right. There we go, Carol. A camellia. Have we got a camellia? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. No, don't be silly. We often buy something without. I'd say we buy something without looking, but we do look. But we've often said that you look at the overall design, don't you? For me personally, that's what I do. And so with Groovi, what I always find is useful is that when you get a new design, just take a piece of parchment and just trace it out, because it's amazing what you can pick up on. See, I knew we had a bluebell, and I wasn't sure, and I knew it was Linda Williams, but I knew it also wasn't the Flowers and Lace collection. But then I couldn't remember if it was the bees, the butterflies, or the dragonflies, because obviously they'd all go for the bluebells. So it's just narrowing it down slightly. And I knew we had a freesia one because freesias remind me of my mum. So isn't it funny you have that connection? Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look. So we've got a lovely little panel now, our circular panel of our dahlias. And so now if I take my piece of artwork and pop that on top, see, it looks lovely within there. So for example, I could trim this down with a craft knife. Okay, so I'm talking, well, I say I'm talking to somebody that isn't that far on the bus journey yet, but I'm talking to people, our friends that have been doing it for a long time, that haven't got the time to do any picot cutting, or they just want a fairly quick card. Okay, trim this down with scissors, craft knife and ruler, guillotine, paper trimmer, die cut a circle with your design. Whether you do, see, this would look lovely on our rainbow parchment, and then you would use the complementary paper underneath on top. You know, like this one here that Barbara, Linda and Grace are working on. See, so you could take that, so where you've got the pink down here and the green up there, you could die cut another piece, so you've got green here and pink up there, put the paper underneath, and you wouldn't need to colour it in at all. But yeah, whether you use circles, squares, I mean, if I'd gone for a square option, the I've got Groovi tabs everywhere, our little coasters, I mean, the circle one obviously doesn't fit, it's a square coaster, but you can cut a piece of parchment to a square and you could just have loads. You could have all different, if someone loves their gardening, here we go, someone loves their garden, often sitting out drinking tea, coffee, whilst the sun's shining and admiring all their handiwork, all their flowers, a set of coasters with any flowers, Jane Nestorenko flowers, Linda Williams flowers, and they have that outside to put their coffee on their table while they're enjoying the sun. That'd be a great little gift. And it's parchment and it's protected within the coasters. That's a really sort of good gift idea. And I've just took that from what Bernie was saying. She likes the idea of making toppers of flowers to keep in stock. You could use those toppers to make lovely coasters and presents as well. Coronation coasters, yeah, Barb gave a sneaky peek of a coronation coaster yesterday. Careful how you say that. Tongue-tied, coronation coasters. And Barb will be doing that on TV on Thursday at 5 o'clock in the shack on Crate and Craft. So if you want to see how that's done, you may want to shop ahead and get some coasters in advance ready for that if you've already got the stamps. But it's all about having the versatility and sometimes try not to think too much into it. So by giving you the various different options, whether you want to just spend an afternoon just doing little toppers that you can use later on, whether you use it just on clear parchment, whether you use it on designer parchment, rainbow parchment, coloured parchment, there's so much out there for you to try and give it a go. And if it doesn't work on what you're working on there, don't dismiss it. Keep it to one side, because it will come in for a rainy day when you need a really quick and easy card. You thought, oh yeah, I did that topper. Let me just bring that out and the job's done. I can't believe it's 11 o'clock already. We've gone over 11 o'clock, but we'll make allowances for the crackly mic. So thank you once again for joining me. Lovely, as always, chatting to everyone, answering all your questions. I'll be back with you next Tuesday, and we'll continue on with this. And thank you to Stuart for his help, to the lovely design team that have all been in the room helping as well. It's so great to have. Oh, I've got an itchy eye now. Does that mean that if I've got an itchy eye, does it mean something? Is it a surprise? No, I'm not going to win the lottery tonight. Okay. Lottery's not on tonight, is it? So don't forget, Barb's on TV Thursday at 5 p.m. and then Friday at 9 and 1. I'll be back with you on Tuesday. So enjoy the rest of your week, whatever you're up to. Enjoy the bank holiday. Hope the weather's kind to you wherever you are. But if it's not, just stay inside and groove. So I will see you all next week. Take care now. Thank you. Bye-bye.